Hey, welcome to what the fuck. Just checking in. I haven't done this in a minute. Been doing the Q&As on Tuesday nights, which have been fun. We were back in the writers' room Monday, which is you know crazy. It all just happens all very quickly, you know. The good news is I get very uncomfortable when I don't have like a regimented schedule. So even though I'm writing a couple things during the hiatus, I just get wanky when I don't have the discipline and the regiment of the gig, and I'm uncomfortable with it for about a month and a half or so, and then just as I get comfortable with not having that regimented schedule, I'm back. So sort of the way it works. But we're back with I'm back with the writers on Monday. A lot of returning writers, a couple new writers. I'm looking forward to having that new energy in the room. It's always good. What else? And production begins middle of May, and people have been asking about premiere dates. And I don't know when the premiere date will be. I know historically we always premiere in the early September. I can't imagine that something would happen to change that, but again, I can't say for sure. But that's sort of the plan in a general way. I'll answer a couple questions from the website here, which is, what is it? I had it somewhere and now I don't know where it is. Here we go. So can't see shit. Can Chib, this is from D in New York. Yes, Chibs' accent is real. He's not doing a Scottish accent for the characters. It is a real and Glasgow-bred Scottish accent. Hi Kurt, I'm from Poland, and my peoples in my country loves SOA. Can you tell us something about Tig role in next season, season 6? I don't really know quite yet what the specific story arcs are going to be for all the characters. I will tell you that things that have each year we add to the mythology of every character. So the events that have taken place for Tig over the course of the 5 seasons are his mythology, and they will always influence and impact the choices he makes and the things that he does. And obviously last season he had some devastating consequences that happened to him, and with the death of his daughter, and they, all that will be very real and very present as we move that character ahead in season 6. And it's the great thing about doing things like that and within a serialized drama is that you never really go into a story completely cold, because you're going in with that character's history. So every time and my writers come up with a story idea for Tig, it's not, you're not just throwing a character into a circumstance, you're throwing a character with a rich history, and you have to go, okay, this is Tig, this is who he is, these are the things that have shaped him, how does he respond in this situation? So that's really kind of how we approach some of the supporting characters on the show each season, is, you know, finding storylines that move the mythology forward, and using those characters to do that, and yet by bringing their own history and then the actors' interpretations of that history, you know, suddenly what would just be you know, a narrative line then becomes this complex and interesting, you know, piece of drama, because you have all this history to tap into. How this is from Bill in New Mexico. How difficult was it to get club approval for the show? Club like the Fox Country Club? Was it? You know, I didn't really seek the approval of any. I'm assuming you're talking about MCs. I didn't really seek the approval, nor did I have to, of any particular club. You know, I had friends in that world who were Patch members, and I talked to them, and I had an understanding of how things worked, and then I just tried to stay respectful of the subculture and keeping the lines of communication open, and you know, so I always, you know, so I established relationships that allowed me to talk to these people, and I feel like because of that, they never felt like I was exploiting them or hurting, you know, the subculture. You know, and most of the guys that I know in the life completely understand that the show is what it is. It's drama. It's, you know, it's very heightened circumstances. You know, it's as they, and I've said this time and time again, but you know, they refer to it as a soap opera, but it's their soap opera, and for the most part, my experience is that they dig it. But I never really sought out anyone's specific approval. I just became aware of the impact of it, and what we were doing in the process, so that I didn't step on anybody's toes for the most part, barring, you know, a half a dozen death threats. Let's do one more question. No, you can't have a job. This question is fantastic because it makes no sense, and that's what the question's about. Do you have problems thinking you get confused when writing? I have no idea what that means, other than I think you're confused and you wrote it, so therefore sometimes. Have you ever really written a Harley or motorcycle? You mean, I think you mean ridden. Yes. Yes, I actually do ride. I've been riding since my early 20s. I came across country on a motorcycle at a very young age, and my first bike, well, not my first bike out here, but I had a Sportster out here in LA in the 90s, and sold that to pay for my first year of grad school, and right now I have two bikes. I have a custom chopper that Rusty Coons and his Illusion Motorsports made for me, and I have a Street Glide, a big bagger that I actually keep out in Idaho. So I ride, and it's a drag riding in LA though. I fucking hate riding in LA. I don't mind going on runs and going up the coast and shit, but to ride like back and forth and to and from work in LA is just a fucking drag. But I do. I really enjoy it, and I'm looking at perhaps get another one. I really dig. I like sporty bikes. I mean, I like baggers. I like my big bagger. I like my chop, but I like to go fast. So I'm actually taking a look at the V-Rod, which I've ridden a couple times and I kind of like. So looking at that, and that's it. Thanks. I will, as always, I will keep you guys posted on the process, my process, and where we're at, and try to keep you plugged in. We will do something again this season similar to what we did last season. Hopefully beginning July sometime, like last season we did before the Anarchy, and just something to sort of bring you into the show, to keep you somewhat amused or plugged in, and leading up to our premiere. I understand it's a long time between seasons, and this is all about trying to keep you folks plugged in a little bit. So thank you, and we'll talk soon.